David Segura, right?
Yeah.
All right, brother. So, my bad about the drive again. Like I said, dude, an hour and 50. I was supposed to have Hector 2 days ago, and his traffic was 2 hours and 30.
Oh, shit.
And normally it's like 45 minutes, bro.
No way.
So we had to postpone it for tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, dude.
Wait, where's he at?
Somewhere like in the city, like in the south side, a little bit.
Oh, okay. It's probably all that,
Yeah.
all the protesting and stuff. Yeah, okay.
I mean, then again, bro, Chicago's the best city in the world, but the traffic.
Nah, yeah. LA's worse.
Well, I went there like a couple months ago, and it took me it took us like 3 hours just to get to like, I don't even, I want to say like maybe 14 miles.
Dude, it's stupid.
Dude, it sucks. But no, David, I mean, like when I was looking through your profile, you're an engineer, music engineer.
Yeah, producer, engineer.
I'm a producer, music engineer. Sorry, my dyslexia kicking in.
You're good.
No, you're good. But no, the thing is that I like about you is that no one really gets shown of how music is made. So everyone just sees a picture or let's just say the lead singer,
Yeah.
right? But dude, it's a team.
Yeah,
It's a solid team. So I actually want to get more technical in it. So you did tell me that you started your career in Orlando, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I actually started playing guitar, learning guitar in church when I was like 12 years old. And I feel like throughout those years, I feel like my like cherry didn't pop until I was 15 of music. Cause I remember this moment so well is like I had some like Apple earbuds and like I put some like bachata music on. I put it on. I was really I remember my cousin's house, like her apartment. I put it in, and out of nowhere, I just started hearing like a left guitar and a right guitar, and I was like, "Why did I never hear this before?" And it's like I felt like that's when like I just like realized what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I started hearing like stuff in the background other than just like the singer, and I was like, "This is so cool. One guitar's doing this, the guitar's doing this. Like, how is that even happening?" And then I feel like throughout when I was like 15. I listened to like different types of music like Aventura, Romeo Santos, like Prince Royce, all those like bachata stuff.
Yeah.
And he all those like little like tiny effects and like I feel like what makes like the music like makes the song like catchy outside of like the letra and like the the singing,
Yeah.
And then when I would go to like Mexican regional, I didn't hear that. Like I felt like the music was like not as there as like the feeling. Like the letra that shit always hit. Mexican regional. I feel like that's what everybody make like cares about like Mexican like music. People want to care about like the actual letra. Like, if those hit, it doesn't matter how it sounds. And for me, I was like, no, like it's gotta hit too. But I'm like, well, who's doing it? And I started like looking up more. Like I want to know how to do it, and I couldn't do it because I was so poor. I couldn't I'm like I need a laptop. I need like a interface. I need this that, but I can't afford a $3,000 like MacBook,
Yeah.
And I was always looking on the internet and like I feel like I kind of like told myself like, you know what, like at 20 I was like, it's not gonna happen. Let's just try to work at a union, at a warehouse and do that, just like my mom, just do whatever she does, And then COVID hit. That's when it kind of started. So when COVID hit, I remember my friend Aaron, he's like a close friend of mine since like 7th grade. He was like, hey, I'm going to college. I wasn't even go to college either. I was just work and that's it. No college at all.
So you're 25 right now, right?
You're 24. I'm going to turn 25.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Just get a grasp.
I'm a 2000 kid.
Okay. Same.
Okay, sick. So when he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to full set. I was like, okay, what is it? He's like, oh, it's like, it's about music. You're going to learn like how to like engineer and how to produce and stuff. I'm like, that's fucking sick. Mind you, I'm at a warehouse and he's like telling me, I'm like, you know what? I'll go with you. It's like, well, I'm like, yeah, I'll just go with you just to go to Florida. I'll just go with you. And then he's like, dude, like you get your bachelor's degree within 2 years rather than 4 years because it's like an accelerated program.
Right.
And it's full sale. And I was like, dude, that's pretty cool because like the reason why I didn't want to go to college was because all the gen eds. I'm not good at school at all, dude. So that's what always threw me off with this 2 years of like straight English, math, and like, dude, I can't do that. I'm honestly like, I didn't want to do it.
I mean, then again, I always mention this too because I graduated, but it's just like if you're not really going for like a specific career now, like with the AI or actually like being an abogado, you're just going there just to party most of the time. Yeah. And then like $40,000 in debt.
Dude, yeah.
So it's not the grades you make, it's the hands you shake.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's crazy though because like you had a sensitive ear.
Yeah. I don't know like what it was. That's what I'm saying. Like at 15, like I just like, it just hit me. Because I always hear music, obviously. Like my mom, she was to like Jenny Rivera, Los Oscos de Durango, Aventura, like all that stuff all the time. My dad was to like Eminem, like rap, like all this kind of stuff. So I knew all of this. But then like for some reason, like at 15, I had like a close friend of mine always plays guitar. His name was Hayel. He also like started playing like bachata. And I'm like, dude, how are you learning these requintos? And he's like, oh, by ear. I'm like, what? I'm like, how are you learning these by ear? And then that's when I kind of got like, oh, that's fucking cool. And that I feel like it's kind of like we already started expanding. Like, there's more to this world than like anybody can imagine, you know? But like when I found out about Full Sail, it's pretty much like 1 month per class. So like you're 1 month you're doing English, the next month you're doing music production, then the next month you're doing like learn how to use like Logic, and then next month you're doing like math. But you have to finish all that like in 1 month. You know, it's like a 4 week thing. So it's very like fast paced. So I was like, you know what? That's why I thought, I'm like, you know what? English is 1 month. I can deal with 1 month of English. So I just took it. And remember I got like a scholarship because we didn't get approved for a student loan. Like my mom, neither me. Because you know, I feel like my mom didn't know what was so important about like credit score and all that kind of stuff. And neither did I.
Right.
And I was just messing with like trying to get applications and not even realize that like that's fucking myself over, you know?
Right.
I thought hard inquiries and all that kind of stuff. So I got a scholarship and they're like, you can come, but you also gotta have a job, pay for your own rent, and also like find like be able to pay your utilities. I'm like, okay. And usually when you go to college, like that's all on the student loans.
Right.
So I had to like do that. And when I went to like Full Sail, mostly the reason why that all started too was because I was interested in I remember there was one song my sister was hearing, and it was from Eslabon Armado, con tus besos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I remember it was like super, super big. Mind you, I'm listening to something way different. I'm not listening to like Max Original at that time.
Right.
And she's playing it. I'm like, is that like a live recording? Because they recorded it live in their garage. I'm like, it's hitting, but the quality wasn't there. I remember I even told Pedro this when I met him the first time too. I'm like, Cause this was like, it didn't sound good.
Right.
But it sounded like to the ears, it sounded like, yeah, this, like the lyrics was cool. The instrumental, like they were like pumping, you know? I remember I told my sister, like, that's what's big. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, they're not even like using like microphones for the guitars. They're not like using the acoustic feeling of it. I'm like, dude, like what's going on? I'm like, I want to learn this. So I'm going to go to Full Sail for it. That's kind of how like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn all this like technical stuff of like how to record like really well. So I can implement that in the regional. And that was always my thing, always. Cause like for like from 2019 to 2022, Mexican regional was like all guitar line, like how they play live. And then just like this kind of microphone, they're just singing like this. It wasn't like actual studio equipment going through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so crazy. We're missing so much like beauty off like the instrumental and like off the feeling of like music.
So pretty much what I'm hearing is like Eslabon Armado pretty much inspired you to get into that your handcraft, right?
Yeah, I was like, I need to learn this just for I want to like grow into this and see what happens.
But knowing what you know now, right? Like right now you're just more experienced, right?
Yeah.
Do you really need all that fancy gadgets in school, or can you just start with this?
Whenever people ask me, they always ask me like, should I go to school? And I always say, I don't think you need to. I went because I knew that if I like looked up on YouTube, I was gonna take it as seriously.
I know
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you
I needed somebody to be like, you gotta do this. Mind you, like a lot of like the Full Sail stuff, like I learned the basics, but it came down to me doing the work. Because they always like told you, you gotta network. And I think a lot of the students around me, like we did network, but it was only like amongst each other. It wasn't so like, and that's what it was. And like for me in Florida, there's no Mexican regional. So I remember like when I was in my apartment one time and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like go into like people's following, like artists following, and I'm gonna go check out just like underground artists. So I went to like Eslabon and I'm like just looking through. I started following like some guy named like R. Boom, I clicked it. I'm like, okay, he sounds cool. Mind you, R was I don't know if you know who R is.
I don't know who that is. No.
He did a song with Eslabon, solo.
Okay.
And I remember I clicked him like he sounds cool. And then like out of nowhere he went live with Pedro. Like Pedro was live like I was 2021 now. In the middle of the like beginning of the year, and I was like, he sounds super cool. I'm gonna hit him up. And then I hit him up. I'm like, hey bro, I'd love to work with you. I'll mix you for free. Mind you, I still don't know how to mix, but I wanted to learn how to mix like this like whole sound.
Throw yourself in the fire.
Yeah. So like I'll hit him up. He was like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like I do it by myself. I'm like, bro, anything you need, I'll do for free. And I'm like, oh, he's like, okay, bet, thank you. I'm like, you know what, this might work. So I'll hit every day. I'll like hit up like I'll go to like Eslabon's following. I'll go to like other people's like followers, like look up like who they're following and who they're interested in, and if they're like underground or like they're not like really like as big yet, where I know they'll accept my free like services, I took the chance. And that's kind of how I kept doing that for a whole year. For 6 months I was charging like nothing, just learning how to mix. And I used the tools that Full Sail gave me, but it was easy like through YouTube. Like you could look up all the stuff that they showed me was like through YouTube. And another thing when I went to school also, because it gave you a laptop. And I could, and well, it came in the loans.
Okay.
But for me, I was like, I can't afford a like laptop right now. I can't do it. I can't even get a loan. So like, they give you a free interface, a MacBook, and headphones. Like, I'm gonna do it. Damn. And that's the reason why I did it too. I forgot about that. The MacBook.
It's like it's like you're burning the boats. I don't know if you ever see the Spanish conquest when they burned the boats. No, and there's no going back to Spain. So like they got to America, burned the boats because they said we're gonna figure this out because they're gonna figure this out. So pretty much you do the loans, knowing like if you drop out, you have to pay all that. Yeah. But it's crazy though. So what realistically do you need? So for someone who really wanted to start this, because you're still super young. Yeah. I mean, I'm 25.
Yeah.
And we're around the same age.
No, I definitely got lucky.
So it's like, what do you need? A laptop and what software? Logic? Is that enough?
Those are just like, so those are called digital workstations, DAWs. And honestly, whatever you feel comfortable with, use it. Like I started with Logic, then I switched to Pro Tools. And Pro Tools is like the industry standard. You'll see that everywhere, industry standard. But it's like, if you want to use Logic, use Logic. If you want to use FL Studio, use FL Studio. Like it does. If you know how to use it, you can use it. So for me, like Pro Tools was like my thing because there were so many hotkeys. A lot of hotkeys that you had to learn. And I learned that at an internship. Like I was interning at a studio. It was like a rap studio. Wow. And I remember they were like, just watch, don't say anything. When there's a recording, don't even talk at all. Pretend you're not even there. If you have a question, like ask when he's gone, the artist, or ask at the end of the session. And I remember we were always in the back, and there was this guy named Jared Atwood. He's like my fucking like best friend. And I remember like when we barely first met, he was like, I saw him mix while recording somebody, while talking to somebody at the same time. Like he's like multitasking like crazy, but still like doing his job, like making the artist like have continuous music in his headphones. Okay. And I was like, how is he mixing the song while recording the artist and also guiding him how to like say like how to like record his like stuff, you know? Right. Like syllables are like, you know, just saying like, oh, you should go back here and do it again. While is he still working on everything all at the same time? Like that's crazy. I remember at the end, I would always ask him like, how do you do this? And then he would tell me. And then like I felt like throughout he kind of noticed that I keep asking questions, like not just like an intern like being quiet and then like, hey, that was cool, it sounds sick, and then walk away. I would ask him like, how did you do this while doing this? He'd be like, oh, okay, it's just Command Z, and then I go, you know, Command Spacebar, and then I do this. I'm like, holy shit.
Damn, okay.
And then he started noticing that, and he was like, and like, so every session he'll be like, you know what, you should come and just sit on the side. And he'd watch me on the side, and then as he's recording, I watch like his fingers like this. I'm like, what is he doing? And again, like they have to like for that internship where he was working at, there was a rapper. So there was rapper, like mostly rap artists. So they would have like 1 hour to do like 2 to 4 songs, however they want.
Typical.
Yeah. So it was like very fast paced. You got to be fast. And I think that's what I realized that the artists like so much was a fast engineer, but also sounding really good. Like getting like a good demo to take home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was like, damn, like that must be very important. Like a very key thing while like being a good engineer is like being able to like give them a good demo, not waste their time at all, and just you be on their time. You know what I'm saying?
But my question is like, since you're in Orlando, the top of my mind is like reggaeton. That's just screaming in my head. Reggaeton. And you said a lot of rappers.
There's a lot of rappers in Orlando.
So, and obviously we're here from Chicago where it's more diverse. Yeah. Right? So like going through that transition whether to Orlando, how was it coming back over here, learning all those different beats? Or did it actually help you evolve?
No, help me evolve like hella. I feel like, honestly, I didn't start working with any Chicago artists till this year. In Chicago. Wow. In Chicago. So what happened was I was in Orlando and I'll hit up like all these artists in California, Texas. I never hit up, I think I've tried to hit up in Malo. I think we still messages like in 2022 where he like asked me how much like I charge. Yeah. Cause I told him like, hey, I want to work with you. And like, that's all that happened. And then, but no Chicago artists. It was literally just straight me, like, oh, people sending stuff over and then me just learning. And in 2022, I had a guy named Angel Perez. He used to be at Dell Records. And
rings a bell.
You know one of the songs for sure. Okay. I forgot what song it is that's super big, but I remember he hit me up one time. He was like, hey, I want you to produce and mix, master my stuff. I'm like, okay, I could do it. And so like what I would do, he would like send me like a rough instrumental with him singing. He's like, I want this is the structure. put the guitars in, and then mix and master, and I'll send you my vocals. Cool. That whole project was like probably like 5 months, and it was like one of my. I remember I told my mom this because he had it. That one was like almost 1 million monthly listeners, and I was like,
wow,
holy, this is like the big leagues now. Like I'm here.
right.
I remember like when that happened, I was like, you know what? If I want to mix this like very important album for me, I'm gonna get some new monitors because I had these like cheap like $500 like pair of monitors. So I remember I got these like new ones, and they were iLouds MTMs. They're worth like $1,000. They're like this tiny. But what's cool about them is you calibrate the room.
Okay.
So like instead of having all those like soundproofing, because I was doing it in my room, in my apartment. There was no soundproofing, nothing. But it calibrated to my room. So when I started doing it, I felt like because I had some part of like in an ear. Like I was a very balanced music. So like I kind of had the ear for it. So when I started mixing on those kind of monitors, my whole sound changed. Because my playback was like, it was different. Because I feel it's like engineers, like what they forget that it's like whatever you're hearing your stuff from, that's how you're gonna start mixing it. And in order for like a good engineer to hear stuff, when you hear back stuff, you want to be able to translate really well from a computer to a car to a phone to any speakers to a club. That's what's very important. Like you able to, like your mix, they just translate really well. So bad monitors is not gonna work for you. So I remember I got those monitors, and I started using it and just changed like my whole like sound like immediately. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
So like when you're working like an artist, you're the one pretty much orchestrating everything just to make perfect. So when you have to give and put your foot in and be like, hey man, tone it down to like you know, give them a consejo. How do they take it without you being disrespectful? You know,
it's actually I think that's what I learned also from the internship is like knowing how the artist is. You have to match their vibe within the 10 seconds of them coming in. Is he like hyped? Is he chill? Is he mad? Is he like in a hurry, or is he more chill? Like you have to like really read them and really quickly, and then see like I need to match their vibe so that they can feel comfortable in the studio. Because then if that artist is not comfortable in the studio, they can't be creative. And then well, in my beginning years, I actually didn't like work with any artists at all. It was mostly just me mixing and mastering, like them sending me tracks.
Okay.
When I really started recording somebody was with Danny Lux. Okay. That's like when it like really happened. And after me going to the internship and all that stuff, hitting up all these people, I remember I even hit up like it was a label called VPS. Okay. And then they signed Danny Lux, they signed Cano, Los Aptos, all them. All these people. And I remember I hit him up when I first started. I'm like, hey, like I want to mix some of this stuff like for free. Can you help me out? And he was like, we do everything in house. Like I'm so sorry. Like I'm getting so many denies, but like it didn't slow me down. Like I didn't see it as a bad thing. Like that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they were saying no to, but I'm gonna keep on working for it. In 2020, man, these years really switch up. I think it's 2022. No, 2023 is when I met. 2022 is when I met Danny. But what happened was I met his old manager Jose.
Okay.
And because we talked so much back and forth like on Instagram, like, oh, you're a great engineer, because he would also engineer Danny's stuff in the beginning. So before me mixing Danny's stuff and working on Danny's stuff, it was Jose, his manager. He would always mix his stuff, even though he's manager. And I'm like, dude, your stuff sounds so good. Like, how do you do it? And we would talk back and forth, blah, blah, blah. We communicated so much. But I feel like you really connect with somebody in person.
Yep.
So I remember it was I think in August. In August we he was in Chicago and I was in Chicago like for break. He was like, hey, like Los Aptos have like this like festival if you wanna, I think it's a Corrido Fest. Okay. I think it was like a rock, I don't know what it was. It was like a Corrido Fest, I think it was. He's like, hey, like I wonder if you wanna like come help me out for monitors. I'm like, okay, I'll help you out. And I remember I went there and I didn't do monitors. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do monitors at all. Like I never learned that in school. And sorry, excuse me. And when we met him in person, we were talking for so long. We were like connecting more, and I feel like when you like talk to me, I feel like I'm able to connect with somebody really fast because I feel like also the same thing. I used to be a waiter as well. So okay, all the waiting and like the studio like internship helped me like you need to like match people's vibe, and with Jose, we connected very fast and very well. We were able to exchange back the stuff, and we met each other, blah blah blah. And then I believe it was the end of October. I was back in school. I remember this so well. And I was doing work. And I remember my lab work was done. So I remember I call my teacher to come like check my work. And as he's like standing up, walking up, I get a call from Jose. And Jose never calls me. He always like just like texted me and that's it.
Right.
So it's my first call. I'm like, why is he calling me? So like I literally saw it. I got up and just like left the room without even telling him first, like, hey, someone's calling. I just left. Because I thought like, it might be something like important. He calls me. So he calls me and he's like, hey, David, so how are you? I'm like, doing good, blah, blah. He's like, so I wanted to ask you, we're doing a tour for Danny Lux, Limerencia, and it's gonna be 12 shows. I was wondering if you'd be down to do like one of the monitors. We need a front house engineer and a monitor engineer. And he was like, I wonder if you want to do it. I'm like, dude, yeah. I didn't even ask him how much he's gonna give me. I just said, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then also, front of house and monitor engineer for shows is super different in studio. I mean, drastically different. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, I'll do front of house. He was like, okay, we'll pay $100 per show, and then that's it. So I'm probably making like $1,200 for like the 2 months.
Yeah.
But for me, that was like huge. I'm like, oh, I could pay my rent and I'll be good.
Then you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
If you're doing what you love, you want.
And this is like a great opportunity. And I'm like, dang. And I'm like, so when do you need me? He's like, yeah, so you'll be leaving like in 2 weeks. I was like,
wow.
I'm like, okay, cool. And that's kind of how this industry is. It's like super last minute, like be ready to go. And I remember, so when that happened, I told everybody, oh my gosh, I'm going to go tour for Danny Lux. And I remember like, that was like when Who Has the Free was like already popping. You know what I'm saying?
Is that when it's already the song that he made with Eslabon?
Yeah.
With what's it called? What's that song called?
The
Heartbreak song.
Yeah, Who Has the Free.
Yeah, you just said that. Yeah. I had it last day, bro. My ex left me. I was like, damn, bro, why you leave me like that, shorty? Nah.
So I already knew who he was. So for me, like that was like aside from Armado, that was like the next step. I was like, holy, I'm working with him. But it wasn't studio stuff. It was literally just straight front of house. And I remember they were just starting, so they didn't even know what equipment to buy for like Danny. And
so like let's rewind a little bit to break it down, because you said front of the house.
Front of house.
Front of house.
So front of house is what the audience hears. Like those speakers, like all those big ones that you see.
Gotcha.
That's me. That would be like somebody like front of house mixing it to make it sound good for the audience.
Okay.
And then monitor engineer is someone who takes care of what the artist is hearing in their ears or in their speakers coming towards them.
Okay. I know what you mean. What you mean.
So like, for example, like big arenas and like big festivals, these artists are most likely using in-ears. So it's like, it's kind of like they're just in-ears that go inside all their ears and they're hearing themselves because of this like echo of delay of like the whole front of the speakers that are like delayed. And then also if you're like 10, 20 feet away, you're going to hear that. You're not going to hear your musician. You know what I'm saying? And you're walking around. So you got to hear a consistent playthrough and like a well-balanced. So that's a monitor engineer take care of their balance per musician, per artist. So that's what it is.
Well, that's the experience of like the fans paying for that money to have like the best production so you can have the best experience. Pretty much.
Wow. But that's the basic of it.
Yeah.
That's the basics of like what it's got to be.
Wow.
It gets crazy. But like, so with Danny, it was me small venues. And they asked me like, what consoles do we need? The console was like what we use to like mix our stuff. It's like this, like, but just a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I told him like, oh, just use the Midas M32R. That's what I learned that's one of the months that I learned show production at Full Sail, and we learned off that one console. So I only knew that console. I thought I knew. I did not know shit from it when they bought it. And I remember, so we got that, and I was like, and I remember when I was about to leave, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring both of my monitors. They were like this tiny. I'm gonna bring my both monitors. I'm gonna bring my Scarlett interface. It was 2x2. They're like $100. Okay. And I'm gonna bring my microphone and my MacBook. And hopefully that if at some point I could like talk to Danny, we could record a song. And that was like my goal for that tour was like, I want to record one song for Danny Lux.
Okay.
So that was my goal so we started in November. We got like somewhat close, like kind of close, you know. I got mostly close with his sister Angie, because like she's pretty much like my age. She's 28, so she's about like 3 years apart from me.
Yeah.
But like Danny is like, he was 18. Like he's like,
man, he's a youngin.
He was a youngin. Yeah. So I always talked to like Angie, and I remember we had a beginning of the week of December, we had one break for a full week, and everybody was supposed to go home. But at that time, like, because I was pretty close with like his sister and stuff, she was like, hey, why don't you just like stay like at our house? I was like, okay, cool. She's like, we have a room in the garage that's like that we made. You can just stay there. I was like, well, if you want to ask your mom and like Danny, like I'll be down. And he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. So I stay at Danny's. So on a Tuesday, I remember his cousin Eddie. He was like, yo, David, you want to go to the gym? And I was like, I kind of want to just like play Call of Duty. And he was like, Oh, okay. I'll just go to the gym. And then Danny was like, yo, bro, like, you said that you brought like your studio stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, I got like my speakers and like my interface. Like, dude, because I got a song I want to record. And I was like, dude, let me set up real quick in the garage and we'll record. So I remember like, I asked him for like a foldable table. It was like this tiny. Then I put my 2 monitors. I calibrated like the speakers like off that room because like it was like a little microphone. I calibrated them, brought my MacBook, set up like the session. Was already set up already. And then Danny comes, and mind you, it's like in a bedroom. So there was like the air mattress, the couch, like it was like super like tight.
Yeah.
But I remember we recorded Te extraño y lo siento within an hour and a half. All guitars, bass, vocals done.
So it was done in that little room.
In that little room.
Whoa.
And it was with one microphone and just like the guitar line. But again, like so like I remember when we like recorded all, he added like all this like he added like harmonies and stuff, and it was all like I mind you like to record a song, like I'm kind of following the artist, and Danny was like on point, like following the click. There's a click like to stay on time.
Yeah.
And he was on it, and he knew exactly how he wanted the song already off like the bat. He was just like improvising, but kind of knew what he wanted. We recorded that in an hour and a half, and he's like, all right, bro, let me hear it. So then we take off the headphones. I do like a 5-minute like quick mix. Mind you, because I learned how to like mix while recording, so I'm like kind of doing little stuff, like just working a little bit of stuff. And we hear it back, and he's like, dude, this sounds sick. And mind you, so then he's like, okay, hold up, let me bring my parents in. So he goes like out, he goes back to his like room, his house, brings his parents in. They sit on the bed that I was sleeping on, and I kind of like turn like that table like this, so I can hear it, because like mind you, it's like speakers are right here, like so I'm gonna turn right there a little bit. We play the song, and they were like, I remember his mom was like, wow, it's this Danny Lux. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, this is so dope. And I was like, damn. And I remember I told Danny, and so like his parents were like, yo, and this was like, I wanted to show you what I can do. This is for free. Like, just keep this. I'm not asking for anything. Like, this is for free. And I remember he's like, really, bro? I'm like, yeah, bro. I just wanted to show you like how we can work and and if you dig it. And then I told him like, if you want me to mix it, I'll mix it. He was like, yeah, I'll be sick. And so that happened. We finished the tour. We go home. It's now like I think like Christmas Eve-ish. Jose calls me and he's like, hey David, how are you? I'm like, yeah. I'm kind of sad. Tour's over. He's like, yeah. So Danny called me. I'm like, okay. He's like, he actually really liked the song Te extraño lo siento, and he wanted to see if you wanted to record his first full length album. And I was like
you were gonna be the main person to fill that project
to record it.
Whoa.
Record it, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the first thing was like we want you to record it.
And this is 23 now, right?
We're now in 2023. Yeah, because the deluxe album came out in 2023. Dude, these like years, it went so fast. I don't know the year. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2023.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that's how fast everything went. Mind you, I started like full scale like at the end of like beginning of 2021. So I'm like 2 years into all this. So this already happened.
Did you graduate? Or did you drop out because you're already doing?
This is where it comes in too. So while that's all happening, they wanted me to do the full album, and then his dad calls me after that. He's like, hey David, how are you? I'm like, good. He's like, did Jose talk to you? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, like Danny really wants to work with you. Like he loved working with you with that one song, and honestly, like he's like really happy. And I was like, damn. I'm like, that's so dope. And I think like the big thing what it was how fast that was as recording him, but also how well that demo sounded for him to like listen to like on his car, on his phone. I feel like that's like the main thing with like engineers, like what we like some engineers like lack of is like giving a good demo to the artist, because like then I feel like they can fall in love with it more when they hear like a close to like 80% finished song.
Right.
So when that happened, I remember I had to tell my school. I was going back and forth with Danny, like flying from like Florida to Cali, going back and forth, and it was hard because I remember I was taking breaks from school like a couple weeks, and they'll let me do my work like outside.
Right.
But when it came down to the album, we got I remember it was like the last month of me doing some class. It wasn't last month of the school of me graduating. It was last month that I could actually do. And I was like, I can't catch up. I'm failing my class now. Like, I said, you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I need a break. And he's like, well, we could talk to your supervisor and see what we can do. And I remember during that time too, that's when Danny got invited to do Coachella as well. And the biggest festival, in the US. And they asked me to do front of house too. And I was like, well, that's already cute as fuck too. I'm still like learning. I'm not doing Coachella. But like with the school, I was like, hey, I need to take a break because I'm recording a song with an artist. I'm recording an album with an artist that's in Warner Latin, and I'm also doing Coachella, and like it's super big for me. Like this is why I came to school, and they're like, you can't take a break. You were taking like too many too many breaks. You're taking 3 months already. You can't go any. We can't go anymore.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, but like now I'm like, there's no way at all. I'm like, I only got 5 more months left. They're like, no, like these next classes you got to be in person. And I was like, okay, well I got a scholarship, so I'm not gonna drop out. So like, can we help me out? He's like, yeah, like we don't want you to drop out because scholarship. Obviously, it was like a $40K scholarship.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm not gonna pay like $80,000.
Right.
And the school said, you know what, you could, if you want, we can switch you degrees, and you could just get you get a certification. And I was like, and you can still keep your scholarship, and if whenever you want to come back to finish that, you can come back. And I was like, I'll do that. Just give me the certificate. So I never got my bachelor's degree, even though I was 5 months away. Like I remember, like that's what hurt. I was like, I was so close, but I felt like that opportunity to work with the Warner Land artist and how young my career was and still is insane. It's very insane, like how that even happened.
Wait, looking back, I mean, it's still so soon. It's only like been a year then.
Mm-hmm.
No more than 2.
No.
Looking back at it, would you actually go return and just be like, hey, like I'll take another shot to finish that incomplete degree?
No.
You'll still go full send right here.
Yes. No, I probably would have just like, I don't think I ever go back again. Because I remember like, it really hurt me. Like, honestly, like, because I remember I talked to like advisors too. I'm like, it really hurt me that I couldn't finish my degree. Like, you guys did, like, I understand like I'm not as big as your other alumni because they praise their alumni. So they praise them for getting Grammys, all that stuff. So like that was like that's what everybody always wanted, a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
So like me, like so getting me close to this kind of thing that like a lot of like people who graduate don't get near to, and I'm doing it while in school. I was like, that's insane. And I couldn't get that the degree, which it sucks. But so I did get a certification. I dropped out to do Coachella and to finish the deluxe album. And it took us like maybe like 7-8 months.
Wow.
Just we were going back and forth. Like that's when we were like going to studios. We were recording we were recording his rooms, mostly in his room. We were recording his room like with my little interface. Like we didn't have we didn't go to like really a fancy studio to the end. And that's what I meant. Like I was like working with like Gabito because like he featured in the album. I met Eslabon for the very first time.
Right.
We didn't talk, but like I was working.
You were there, yeah.
So yeah, we worked on the album and it came out really good. But like that wasn't like my touch. Like I was just kind of following Danny and kind of being like on like footsteps and like just being like I don't want to like overstep. That's one thing too. Like as an engineer, you don't want to overstep a creative process for an artist. You could kind of feel like they want you like to tell they want you to tell them what to do. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
And for Danny's first project, like he wasn't really like he said, I want this, like put this here, record this, that's it. And I just made it how it sounded, and it was really good. It was a really great album.
Well, let me put a pause in this because I feel like now I know like a big rest of your story, which is phenomenal because I feel like it happened in a short amount of time, but with a lot of sacrifices.
Oh my God.
How was it with the time management? Because, I see you're about to have a kid right here. So, and obviously like you're married too, of course, but how was time management with family, with your wife?
So I actually didn't meet my wife until the March of 2024, so last year.
Oh shoot, what?
So like yeah. But honestly, like, but 2023. So yeah, everything was 2023. Now that that clicked, you're right. 2023, everything was happening. That was probably my hardest year ever. I mean, ever. Like it was like, and the reason why I say that was because after I finished Full Sail, I was working on the album. I was mostly staying with Danny for like the whole entire time at his house.
Wow. And
mind you, like as when you're doing a big project, sometimes you can ask for like half a deposit, and immediately starting, like I didn't want to ask for it. I wanted to wait till the very end. Like I said, this album took us like 6 months, so there's no money coming in for me. The only thing I was getting money from was from like underground artists sending me their work to mix and master, and then doing like a couple of like rodeos for like Danny, like couple like pop-ups, and that was like $250, $350. I wasn't getting paid anything. This was like
you were getting paid $23,
like $350, like maybe max $350, but like per show, like, and that was like a couple shows, and like my mixing, I was charging like $150. That's nothing, mind you. I'm living in Orlando too, but I'm not even there. That was like, I remember for most of that summer, my account was like negative, like for majority of the time. And I remember like I could tell my mom, like, Mom, like I remember I would come crying like, Mom, like I don't know how to do this. Like, I have no money. Like, I feel bad asking like Danny's mom for like food because like I should be paying for it and I feel so bad. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not getting any money in. She's like, just be patient. Like, you're barely starting this. Like, it's gonna be okay. And, like, remember, like, you got here, and it's a very like big step. Well, not many people like can get into like that fast how you did. So just be patient. But dude, I remember 2023 was so hard. I mean, it was like I was paid for so much stuff that I wasn't even enjoying it in Orlando because like I gotta be here with Danny. Yeah. And I loved it. Like Danny's an amazing person. He's so awesome. His family's like awesome too. Like we're like super close. And that was a big sacrifice, was the money.
It's great to have someone, well, for him to have someone on your team, like you on his team, because I mean, one's loyalty, and then also too, like you saw the vision, just like him, and you went up with him. Yeah, bro, you went through that struggle just because I saw you went #1 for the album.
Yeah.
So I mean, like your mom was right. It just paid off. You just gotta be a little patient, you know.
Yeah, and like that's like the thing, like when that deluxe happened, and obviously he wanted to work more, so we worked on his like deluxe version, Evolucion, and it was like 4 or 5 songs, and like he gave me a little bit more of like freedom. Yeah, that was like a little like his more freedom. And then 2024 is when I meet my wife in March. And I remember like me and the whole like Danny Lux like team, like we're all very close already. We're like, I'm traveling in Cali like pretty much all the time.
In Orlando or California?
No, after that, no, in California. Okay. In 2024, I moved out of California. I moved out of Orlando in was it September? I think it was September. I moved out, right? September is when I like my lease ended. So I was like, that's when I'm gonna go back home because I'm not even in Florida, so I'm just paying for random stuff. Let me move all my stuff back home to my mom. And just like I'm always in Cali, so what's like the point of me renting if I could just like have my stuff there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. But
it's like having a subscription you don't even use. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like almost like 2 grand.
Times like that.
I do like 5 times. But yeah, that 2024 I moved back home. I met her, and then that's I feel like a lot of like my mom's support and like her support and like my friend's support and like Danny's support, like everybody was supporting me that I was okay with it. And Evolucion was like more like I started getting like I got like a raise. I got a raise of like how much I could charge like other people because like Deluxe now came. That's a big artist. I hit like I think it was top 1. I can't remember what we hit.
Yeah.
So we hit these top charts. So like once you like an engineer or like a producer gets like those like credibilities, you're able to charge more. So I started charging up like more money. I doubled my price pretty much on everything, and it was like I was still living like okay. I was doing okay.
So how does it work now? Because you're in a position now that it's so phenomenal now you can actually pivot to other places, right? But I'm sure you're still loyal to Danny, right? Look,
yeah.
But if someone else did reach out, is it easy just to pivot and go full on mode and work on that project with them?
Any project I take it full on mode. That is not that, and that I feel like I always like say that to most of my underground artists when I'm really busy. Yeah. Like upcoming artists, I'm always telling them like, hey, like I'm busy, but just know that the reason why I'm not mixing a song right now is because I'm not trying to rush it because I care about your project. I'm pretty much all this is like off of me. I'm not working like off just Danny. This is like I'm working with multiple artists. So like that was like, so it wasn't. But yeah, like if Danny like was to say like I want you to come over to record, we're gonna record to like the end of it. But at the end of that session, I'm gonna pull up like somebody else, like another client, and work on their work. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like my main focus was Danny. But as soon as I got time, like if I know that this time I can actually do stuff, I'll work with the clientele.
Okay.
And then luckily, like Danny was actually very nice. Where like he'll let me like stay in Cali, stay in his house, and go like record other artists.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like network. He just put you on. You could say like he helped you out. Like.
And the thing is like I couldn't stay. I couldn't always like go back and forth. And a lot of artists like they can't in Cali. They're not gonna like pay for my flight back and forth. Yeah. So Danny was like, if you want to just stay in my house, and if you need to go somewhere, just take my mom's car and then just go to LA. Yeah. So that's what he let me do too. Which is really cool. Yeah. So that helped me because I was able to network and like meet other engineers, meet other clients, and then get to work with them, in person. And yeah, me and Danny are pretty close. That album that we worked on recently, Leyenda, was like my most like that meant a lot to me because that actually a lot of it was like him like set up the structure and was like, okay, I'm gonna go to my room, you just work with the musicians and you guys work what you guys gotta do. And like he would just come at the end to hear all the music and he'd be like, that sounds dope, just add this or take off this. But like he gave me a lot of like he let me like take control. Like I was like the executive producer with him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he gave me a lot of like creativity.
So I'm hearing a lot of California artists and a lot of Orlando artists también. Yeah. You're recently working more with Chicago artists too as well. Everyone has a different sound.
Yeah.
Why? There's a couple questions, but I'm going to ask this one just straight up. Do you think you have to leave your own city to actually succeed in what you want to do? Because it kind of sounds like that's what you're doing, and that's what I'm going to do, you know?
Yeah.
I'm saying it straight up.
Yeah.
You know?
Chicago is super dope, but it's tough. Why I'm going to say it's tough is because the Cali market, at first, when I was first starting, it was super, like, everything was pretty expensive, but, like, those big dogs, like, Yellow Room, and, like, mostly Yellow Room, he was, like, he was the big dog in 2022. I feel like he's like, he made a great, like, pillar, like, he started, like, the sound. And, that was, like, my goal, and, like, I feel like Chicago, like, as far as social media, I couldn't find anybody. I only found like at first Armado. He was the only artist. I'm like, okay, he's something I want to work with him. But at that time, I couldn't find anybody. I really couldn't find anybody. As far
because
as,
of the sound or just because of
maybe no, I think it's just like as far as marketing, like because I feel like everybody that I met was because I found them through like social media, like through TikTok, through Instagram, and I feel Chicago was like artists sometimes they lack it. That's why I always whenever I work with an artist, I always tell them, you gotta work on your social media. You gotta work on social media. Yeah, that's like so important. And I feel like that's why like. In Chicago, like recently this year, I started working with a couple grupos. Los Alto Código.
Okay.
They're now signed to Phone Visa, and then Los Ahijados.
Oh yeah.
I'm working with them right now too. I'm working with another like upcoming artist. His name is Brian Uriel. I'm working with Grupo Versa.
Okay.
I'm working with them too, and I found them like honestly when I started like when I found Alto Código when they found me. Alto Código found me actually. When they found me. I started like seeing like a line, like I started going to their followings. I did like what I did back then. I went to their followings and look at the groups. Like, okay, which grupos are recording and which ones are live only.
Right.
There's people like there's like a grupo that's doing live only, and there's people that think that's what they do for a living, and then there's people that want to do studio stuff, and that was that. And in 2025, that's when like goes to la home and like also.
So it started popping
too, and I try to work with them too. Actually, literally today, Mark called me. Actually, he called me too. He wants to work, so it's gonna be super dope. But yeah, like back like those years, I couldn't find a Chicago artist, dude. Like it was mostly just Cali, a couple Texas people, and like, but the network was there. Like I felt like they were hungry. They were so hungry to like make music, and like they trusted me. After them hearing like Danny stuff and hearing like my whole catalog, I felt like they could like do all that. And in Chicago, like I felt like that sound wasn't really there. Like, I feel like the Cali sound, like how it is, like the whole like modern, wasn't really there for Chicago yet.
Because I feel like I also saw on your page too as well, who I'm actually a fan of, Cuco.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah. So I feel like that kind of falls into Danny Lux kind of category, like the sound wave. Is that what the sound you were looking for in Chicago, or was it just because Chicago was just they just weren't accessible?
They weren't accessible.
Yeah.
Because like Cuco was like I remember I met Cuco too. We worked on one. I worked on 2 songs with them. I worked on there's one with Danny album and one with the Los Aptos. I worked on them, with him too.
Oh shoot!
And even in person, that guy is so nice. Like he's so fucking nice. And he's super dope. But he's more like indie alternative.
Okay.
He's not really like Mexican serreño.
You ever told him that, yo, hop on?
Dude, I think I've actually always thought that it'd be so cool to like somebody like I always thought that like bro, it'd be so dope for you to bring like artists to like your world. Usually like a lot of the artists that like Mexican regionals, they go to like the other artists' world. You know what I'm saying? They don't bring like these people to like our world to see like how they sound,
Yeah.
I think Cuco sounds so dope. I actually you know what? In the song that he did with Cuco Danny on the Lux one, there was an ending of them doing Serreño. But we cut it because it was too long. It was like 5 minutes long. Yeah, the Oye Narrador, I think it was, that song. There was an ending of like Serreño. But Danny cut it. He's like, this is too long. So that's there. Well, it's stolen now. It's not really there.
So having already the experience that you have with the sound in your ear, right? You're gifted. Who would you want from Chicago, a group from Chicago that you're working with now? That you think like another caliber, like let's say from California artists should combine and do a feature? In your opinion, it doesn't have to happen, but who's someone from Chicago and then someone else that you think should make a song? Like Los de la Holman with Cuco or...
Damn. I wouldn't even know, actually. I wouldn't even know. That right there, you got me stuck, actually. You actually got me stuck. I got to think about it. I gotta like look through to see like who would sound cool. I feel like you can't just like say a name that's gonna work. I feel like you have to like really think about like, do they really fit? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like just like throwing like
it's like a mixture combination,
like,
you know?
It's like it has to be the right ingredients to like make it mesh.
But that's what makes a perfect player, though. You know what I mean? Because like everyone talks about Peso Pluma, but like an example, he can go from bachata to reggaeton and then to like a slow song. You know what I mean? Like he can do it all. But that's what makes you stand out.
Yeah, Los De La Homen. Damn, I don't even know. Cause like
I say them because I feel like they're more diverse in their music. You know?
Yeah.
And they can go with a slow song. I can even see one of the bachata.
I'm actually very excited because now with Los De La Homen, that now that Mark called me, I've been like telling them. I've been telling my other friend, my very close friend Armando. He's also an engineer here in Chicago.
Oh wow.
He and we work together very close. But he works a lot with Los De La Homen. He's actually the one he's the one that recorded the Wendy Ortiz song.
Oh nice.
And I told him, bro, I want to work with them. I'm like, because I feel like Chicago, and I tell this all to the Chicago like artists I work with. I always tell them. So I'm not even like talking shit. I tell them like in person. I'm like, you guys are backed up like 2 to 3 years as far as sound.
Wow.
That's for me. That's what it feels like. Like they're super behind. As far as Chicago, we're super behind. So like with like Alto Código, we like I started changing their sound a lot. And this album they're gonna drop like I don't know when, but they're gonna hear it. Los Dejados, same thing. Like the music that we have set up is like straight like the stuff that you're hearing now. Like nobody in Chicago is doing that sound that you're hearing like in mainstream, and that's what I'm bringing to Chicago. That's what I'm bringing. You're gonna hear who has it? Who's dropped? There's a very upcoming artist called Brian Uriel, and he dropped a song called Mírame, and it's very like Tito WP Gabito style, and like that's like I'm like he dropped Brian Uriel. I'm like, dude, that's like super dope. I can't wait for all the artists I'm working with to do it because like Los De La Homen, for example, they have a very cool voice, and I feel like their instrumentation could be like so sick, and I feel like they just need like that little like creativity of like, hey, it's okay to be creative. But that's happened with Eslabon. I remember with Pedro, when he told me when he texted me like, hey, I want you to work on our album for Rias de Noche Dos.
Wow.
I remember I went to his house and it was like midnight, dude. And he walked me, like showed me through the studio, showed me to my room, and I remember we stopped. And I was like, so dude, like what is Vibras de Noches to you? And he was like, dude, honestly, like Vibras de Noche 1, nobody liked the album. At first, everybody hated it. Yeah, and now it's like their most like people say that's like their favorite album, right? And he's like, and honestly, that album wasn't for like the fans. That was like stuff that I wanted to do because I liked it. I'm like, okay. So like, it's not, so you didn't do Serrano because you wanted to do Serrano. He's like, no. Like, it was a sound that I wanted to try out. He's like, so I'm like, so this next album we're trying to do is like, dude, I just want to do like creative stuff. And that's when I'm like, okay, this album is not going to be Serrano. It's going to be mostly like a lot of different sounds. So Vibras de Noche Dos, it sounds so experimental, but I feel like I made Pedro, Damien, Brian feel so comfortable that they were able to try creative, like they had like a creative process to like, you know, to make this album.
Right.
Mind you, his mom told me, and Pedro told me too, like for Corta Venas, all these albums that they've dropped before, they'll take like 2 weeks, 1 week to record everything. Wow. This album, Vibras de Noche Dos, took us a full month. It took us like quadruple the time that they usually take. And it wasn't like us being slow. I think that like I feel like I like
perfected the craft.
But I feel like I opened like their mind to like, it's okay to like try new shit. I told them like too, like the generation where people are listening, like your fans are like they're going to take it in very well. I feel like I'm like, dude, like don't be scared. And again, like if you try something new, they don't like it, you know now. Like, and I think that's what I learned from Danny. Because like Danny, he's like, he did bachata, he did indie, he did reggae, he's done serreño, he has at home he does like reggaeton stuff, like beats by himself, and it's like he does it, and he's done house, and like it's like he does it because he's like, I want to do it, it's for me. So I feel like I learned that from Danny, like it's okay to be like try different shit and drop it. Because once your career is so young, and I feel like when you in an older career, like it's like 10 years, your fans get used to the sound that they want to hear. And when you try something super new, they're gonna be like, this is not, I miss the old blah, blah, blah. But I feel like when a young career like Danny, Eslabon, Peso, because they like all started like super like, this is still a very young career. Because I'm trying new genres very young, I feel like the fans are okay with it because like, okay, like this sounds dope, but I feel like they're more like open to it because of like how new everything is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like JOP too. Like he did like a little. He did the what's it called? He started out with Sereno, like you said,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But then he pivoted to a little bit like disco, Jersey corridos right now, And then now again he's like combining like different. Like he made a country song también.
Yeah.
So like he's having a taste of new music, but that's what it takes also too to open your genre and open the audience.
Yeah.
So like now with you right now, like I said, now with you right now, where is it heading? Because now everyone's visa is getting taken away.
Yeah.
So like everyone's getting scared to say some lyrics.
Yeah.
But would that affect the sound?
It's weird. Honestly, I don't know why. And I actually like get like so upset about this. But when people send me work or people ask me to be like, hey, do you know how to like mix or work on like a reggaeton beat? Or do you know how to like work on like an alternative like song and or like do you know how to mix a corrido? And I'm like, dude, like I can work on anything.
Yeah.
Just send it to me. But like what I've noticed that a lot of artists separate serreño, like love, desamor, amor, from like corridos.
Okay.
Sound. But it's the same thing. It's just different lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think for me it's gonna be such a big deal because honestly a lot of my work is like amor, desamor.
Mm-hmm.
Why? That's just like that's what's been given to me. For me, like as what the future holds for me, I would love to do like urbano music, urbano R&B. I love to do bachata. I love bachata. I love to do bachata. I love to do like pop music. I want to do it all. I want to do it all. So like that's my like what I want to do because I feel like if I stay at this like it's gonna be a niche for me. They're gonna be like, oh, you should work with this engineer because he sounds really good with like regional. I want to be like this guy's like you should hit up this engineer because he sounds good. They're not putting me like they're not giving me a title of like regional. I want to be known as a great engineer like across the board.
So with working with all these artists, who was the one that gave you the best creativity to open it besides Danny? Because you met pretty high end profile ones.
I'm gonna say Eslabon. Aside from Danny, because Danny is very very creative and he does like push me a lot. Eslabon for that recent album, they let me like be pretty creative. Like we added like in regional music is mostly just guitars, but we added pads, we added like synths, we added piano, we added strings, we added so much stuff. We added like a whole drum like drop like at the end of one song. Like it's like we were very creative, and that was super dope. Cause I remember even Pedro asked me the same things like, who do you like more, us or Danny? And I was like, dude, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. I'm like, you guys are both totally different. There's two different vibes.
Be like, buy me a McChicken, I'll say you, man.
I actually tell them always buy me Kit Kats. They know I love Kit Kats.
Shit.
Everyone knows that they owe me a lot of Kit Kats now. But it's funny enough, actually, like I think because of how close that month of me and Pedro getting, because now we're working on some more different songs now. I'm leaving in 2 weeks with Pedro. And
California, I'm assuming?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Apple Valley. So he told me like he's been showing me some music and it's very different. Like it's not regional.
Can you say like where's it kind of heading? Not you don't have to give too much away. Just like what kind of vibe is it gonna give?
Hindi.
Any cool features on it, or just
I don't know yet. We won't. I'm not gonna know. He probably won't tell me until like he like
the day of.
Yeah, actually, Pedro, he's very like he has a very good ear. Because I noticed that he's like he doesn't know like the terms of like as far as like engineering, producing, and like even like a drum set. He doesn't know like what a tom or kick or snare is, but he has the ear for it.
Okay.
So I feel like once he hears a song, he's gonna know I want this artist. Like for like he did the Marcario Martinez, the one Esta Noche. I remember he made a song with him, and it was like he felt like I want to do. It was like Wapango, but like guitars. It's really dope. We should hear it. And it's like Wapango, but it's like full on guitars. And like they made that together, like him, Damien, and Brian, and they sent it to Marcario, and it fit him really well because Marcario is like very folk. He has like that that folky Indian like voice.
I know what you
mean. And Pedro did it, and it was like super dope. And honestly, like credit to all the engineers like here in Mexican Regional, because like they do a crazy job, and like they inspire me a lot too. But I'm just glad that I'm able to be able to unleash like this vision that artists have, and I think it helps that I'm like their age too, because a lot of the engineers are older, and I feel like when they see like someone their age, there's like a comfortability thing, like
yeah, you guys understand each other.
Yeah. So like I talk their talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like when they go to like an engineer to a studio, it's like an older guy, they're probably like, oh, we gotta get to work. Like this is like their dad type. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, like my dad's telling me to work, I gotta work. But for me, when they come with me, they're like kind of like, okay, like they like lay back, like they start playing. It's like, okay, like I feel like they just feel more like laid back and create, and like a flow, creativity can flow. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, it's kind of fascinating because it's only been like, I want to say like a year and a half, right?
Dude, it's been so like professionally, I'm not even professional.
Because you're Latin Grammy.
I'm a Latin Grammy nominated.
That's what I'm saying. Like in a year and a half.
By the way,
Did you just?
it happened last year.
Oh,
Happened last year.
Were you at the Miami in November?
Yeah.
We were there too.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Funny enough, Danny actually, because he got nominated and he wanted, out of all people, he's like, I want you to sit by me because he had a +1.
Oh shoot.
And I was like, dude, like you don't have like your mom or like your cousin, like, or even Jose, your manager's like,
I don't need that.
and no, he was like, no, dude, like I feel like you understand the album more. Like you worked on the album, you deserve to be here.
Wow.
And I went, and I was like, it was. I remember, it was crazy. It was a surreal experience, and I appreciate Danny for like really having my back and being, because we're like brothers, dude. Like he's like,
For sure.
we're like brothers, and so I know now like how he feels and stuff, and we always call each other all the time, and I thank him because like these opportunities I've gotten with like Eslabon, Gavito, Haciel, you know. It's shout out to like him like giving me the chance when I was just starting, because I'm so when I was 2023, so that was like a 2-year. He gave me like I feel like nobody's gonna trust a 2-year engineer, and his team did, you know.
Wow.
So I appreciate Jose for that, like big time. His old manager, like shout out to like Jose for like giving me that chance, and Danny for like trusting me, because like now like I remember when we were recording Deluxe. We had a second session with a producer, and I couldn't be there. I'm like, oh, Danny, I got a session with this artist on Thursday. I can't go. He's like, nah, you can't. And he's like, yeah, I'm like, nah. He's like, I'm like, bro, if you want to go, like the song's already almost done. You
Right.
just finish it. He's like, nah, bro. I remember his manager was on the phone, and he was like, bro, just cancel it. I'm like, what? He's like, bro, just go. He's like, no. Can we do Saturday? And Jose was like, yeah, we can do Saturday. He's like, yeah, I'd rather David be there. And it's like, damn, like, this guy doesn't like, he like really trusts me like to be there, because I feel like that's the comfortability that he has, and I feel like that's what I strive for any artist that works with me. I want them to be comfortable, and I want them to like feel like that they can trust me with their baby. That's what it is. At the end of the day, like they're making something, so it's like a baby to them.
Because they're the years, man. You're pretty much pushing out what people are gonna feel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And like that's what's like very important to me, and that's what I want to bring in Chicago. Like I'm still waiting for Armado to hit me up, because I actually want to work with Armado. I was at home, and it's already happening, thankfully. I think next week already Mark said, so I'm excited for that. Shout out to the Chicago, like, you know, artists that like have trusted me, like Arto Código, Sejados, Brian, Versa. Shout out to these guys, because they really trusted me. So
what's that sound missing then? Like, what is that little sound that you think on your right ear, your left ear, is what we're not having yet, that we still need to click? The lyrics are there, the hype's
the fidelity, arrangement, and dynamics. What I mean by dynamics is like as far as like a song like coming up and then going back down and then bringing the listener back up. And I feel like right now it's kind of like the verse, the chorus, the requinto, the verse, the chorus, the outro. Like you just like know like what like I want it to be a surprise. You know what I mean? I want it to be like when it's something, it's like, oh, like, what the fuck, what was that? I want the listener to be like intrigued. And I feel like right now like it's kind of like this, like you just know what's gonna happen. Okay, I thought Requinto was gonna have another verse. Now you know, like you know what's gonna happen. I don't want people to know what's gonna happen.
It's like a scary movie. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you're like,
and
one would jump.
Yeah, so like, and honestly, I've actually like I've gotten very comfortable with a lot of engineers in California and Mexico. Like, shout out to these fucking like cats, because these guys are like so big, and we talk, and they let me talk to them so much, and like because of them, like I feel like my confidence is like has gone up, because like they always compliment my work. In Chicago, I try hitting up like some engineers, but I just can't. Like not can't, but like.
No voltean pa acá.
Exactly. The only person that is Armando Terrazas, Artiri. He's like my second mentor that helped me like get to this, and shout out to him a lot. But yeah, a lot of them I'm trying to like I want to work with them. I want to like not even work with them. I want to meet them, because I feel like it's a different type of thing meeting like engineers, like me meeting Yellow Room, me meeting like Peso Pluma's engineer Ernesto, me meeting like the guy that did Netombe, not meeting him, but like me talking to like Netombe guy's like producer Prince, like these people, like they're such like high people. Oscar Maidon's like producer, like you know, Jada, like these people, we talk so much back and forth, and it's so dope, because like I guess like we know like what is our job, and in Chicago I want to talk to them to be like, hey, like let's do this, and it's like I don't know,
maybe they just I mean, I mean, end of the day, like you said, you still have 2 years, but you have such a huge, beautiful resume.
Thank you.
Doing stuff. But so did you personally work then with Ernesto Fernandez? I think that's...
No, yeah, Ernesto Fernandez, yeah, Ernesto. No, I didn't work on, well, we did work on Cielo Eterno together with Hasil and Danny because he mixed it and then I recorded and produced it and he co-produced it as well. And, but what's funny with him, like, I remember I went to his, like, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm going to see your studio. We were kind of like, not really talking, but kind of talking. We met in person for like an hour and we were just like, engineers just nerd out. We just started nerding out and like, he showed me like how like his room is. I showed him some of my work and, yeah, like he's super cool. And it's pretty crazy. Like props to him, like his age and how like new everything's sounding.
Yep.
Like shout out to that. Like
he's a little older.
Yeah.
But he's still current. Whoa, he mixed with Peso Pluma.
Yeah.
Like, he made the album
Well, it's Brahim, dude. It's like Tito, like all those people, all those cats, like they all work with like Ernesto. And it's like props to him because like he's super dope and like, and now there's like new people coming up. This year like was definitely like an engineer, a producer that right now nobody really hears of yet. His name is Prince. He's from Guadalajara, and he did the Neton Vega stuff. He did work on a few Gabito songs. He's worked on a lot of like other songs, but dude, like his sound, those like crazy effects that we're hearing nowadays is because of like Ernesto, Rivs. Rivs is actually one from Monterrey.
Okay.
And he's super cool. He works with Oscar Maidon on the red one, the Destrucción. What's that album called? It's like the red one, the car.
Okay.
But he worked on that album. That's when the whole like effects started. I don't know if you kind of noticed it. Because he's like,
I don't have an ear like you, but
yeah, no, it's like I felt like a lot of the regional stuff right now is we're taking a lot of like house like ideas, like EDM house.
Well, let me ask you this: I know both are important, but what's more important? Having a good beat, like having a good beat in the song, or the lyrics? What's more powerful?
Okay, so this is where you're gonna like. This is where people will be like, always tell me like, what's wrong with you? I don't listen to lyrics. Like I don't like ever since I was little, because I was no sabo, I never understood lyrics, dog. Like I have to like literally like sit down and like listen. Like I have to like listen to like a word to understand what the fuck's going on. The only way I know if it's a heartbreak or a love song is from the instrumental. That's where like I feel like, oh, this song's hitting. Like, oh man, his voice, he's fucking singing it, he's feeling it. And then like after a while, I'll be like, let me hear what the lyrics are saying so I can like learn it. And then that's how like, okay, now I catch on. But my first instincts is the instrumental, always.
I asked you that because I feel like the sound is more important. Why? Because if you hear like a Japanese, let's say, love song, you don't know what they're saying.
No.
But it's something that soothes you to the sound.
Yeah, it seems like Beso. Like Beso, like people like a lot of people like a lot of Americans.
Yep.
Like they heard like a lot of the music and like you see people dancing in festivals, they're like dancing move, but it's because like they hear the rhythm, they hear like they feel it. Regardless if they're talking about whatever they're talking about, they dig it. So I think instrumentals is very important. I think lyrics matter. What I've noticed in regional is that people can tell if he's a no sabo or not. That's what I've noticed.
Based off a sound.
Based off their writing.
Okay.
I've noticed that. I noticed that a lot of like managers or like parents, they'll be like, oh, that's no sabo.
Yeah.
Like that's not even correct.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a no sabo by heart, bro. I say parquear instead of estacionar, bro. Like I'll tell you, donde te parqueaste, and if you criticize you, I'm like, dude, bro, chill.
Dude, I'm bad. But no, that's why for me, like I don't really get myself involved with lyrics, just because I know that like my grammar isn't there. So like I'm not gonna get into it. For me, it's like what can I? Let's say they say a word. If this like word clicks to me, I'm like, or this like one phrase like clicks to me because I understand it, I'm gonna find a way in the instrumental to bring that like feeling up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's our job to like, how can we enhance this phrase? How can we enhance like this feeling that someone's feeling, that the artist is singing? Like, how can we make that connect to like the listener?
Have you written a song before, composed, or helped a little bit? Put a line out there.
I do have one song. That one song out, and I was really bored, and I wrote like the verses. No, the chorus, and somebody helped me with the verses, but that's about it. I'm not gonna say anything. You want to look at Ukulele? I'm not gonna. It's embarrassing to me.
Have you given like at least a verse to like let's just say Danny Lux? Like, hey, maybe if you add this verse right here, va a sonar mejor. Because you are working.
No, I think the only time that where I do put my input in with as far as like letra and voices is how it's delivered.
Okay.
How it's delivered, like where not be like, oh, sing it softer, or hey, use your higher voice, or use like your throat voice, use like give it more energy, like I'm like, oh, this part, dude, use your like put energy because this instrumental is doing this. Like that's like, or like I'll be like, oh, watch your, or like, hey, I didn't hear your S. Like when we say like I'm trying to think of an S fucking word at the end, but whatever, like the syllable, just like give it more. I can't hear it. Right. Give it more. Like that's where I help out. Like as far as delivery with the vocal, and also the tuning. Like also like a lot of artists need help with tuning too. You know, so like I'll be like, oh, like you're not. This is the wrong note. You're supposed to hit this note, and I'll sing it for them. Like, oh, okay, bet, and then they'll do it.
Oh wow.
So like yeah, like I think a lot of it, like I don't help with letra, but I do help with like it's like vocal, like it's like a vocal engineers as well. It's like a vocal, and what do they call them? I don't know what it is, but yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. But also, I mean, David, I mean, I want to wind it down a little bit too, just because like we're hitting like that time frame right there, and I don't want to take up more of their time. But I also want to say, I know I don't like to make it personal. We can cut this off, but like I know you have a baby on the way now, right? How is it going? What's going to change going through this new chapter with work? And now starting the most beautiful chapter of your life right now.
Funny enough, I think this year was probably like the best year that I've had ever in my career. And it's been the most, like, has it been stressful? Yes. But it's been like a good stress. I mean, like, thankfully money's flowing and I was able to like buy them a house. I was able to like, you know, do certain things that I thought that I wouldn't be able to do in 2023. Like I remember like my account was negative. Yeah. My account was like so negative that I was like crying, dude, because I couldn't do it. And now here where like I'm married, I'm having a kid, I bought the house, and like right now she's not working, and it's like and it's okay because I don't want her to work. You know, my dream was always like to have a family and like the wife not needing to work, you know. And and I told her,
if you're a man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I think it goes back to like a lot of like, you know, I love rest in peace to my dad, but like he also didn't work. My mom was working 2 jobs. So seeing that was like so hard because I was like, damn, like my mom's working 2 jobs. My dad, like at the end, was not working at all. That's a lot. Yeah. So like for me, I was like, I don't want to do that. So and even her, she'd be like, she would tell me like, I still want to work. I'm like, when you want to work, you can go ahead. But like right now, you don't need to. So enjoy it. As far as what work, thankfully, every like engineer, everybody that I work with, they always say like, oh, it's done. You're not gonna be able to work anymore. You're not gonna be able to do this no more. Like, just not gonna be able to travel anymore. Like, you're done. And with her, it's been the total opposite. Like, her support is like what makes me like keep going. And we did have a conversation. Like, she like, you know, I'm like, we do know like when I gotta go, you know.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
And it's because like it's for work, you know. And it's to make. I'm always telling them to like, I'm doing this for like us, and I want to make sure that our daughter is like really good, you know. So like for example, like last week we had a scare. And I was in Cali, so that same night, my Jose and Danny, they just flew me back home, and I had to work the next day. But they're like, "Dude, it's cool. You go do your thing." And then that same week, I was supposed to work with like Eslabon. Same thing, like, "Dude, it's cool. Just come back whenever you can." And now like I'm leaving in 2 weeks because like the scare is like gone, and she's due next month. So I'm like, but we plan like in like around 2 to 3 weeks when she's born, I'm gonna get back on the road
for sure.
If I have to, I'll get back on the road. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, a lot of like Danny's tours has like pushed back his like when they announced when they're gonna have it. So I probably have another month with them. But we've talked about it. Like we're like, hey, like I'm if I go to work, I go to work. If I tour, because we tour for a long time. If I tour, I'm gonna whenever I have like a free day, if I can do it, I'll go back home for a little bit. I'll risk it. You know what I mean? I'll risk it because like that's the important thing. Like as far as like money, dude, like as long as I have like the bills to pay, the wife's happy, the kid's good, I'm good. Like I'm not.
Can you ask?
Yeah, dude. Like it's like I'm like, and that was always my goal.
And communication is there,
dude. It's big because they always say like dude, like you're not gonna be able to do this. Like yeah, you guys talk about it, but just know that's not gonna work. I'm like, I don't think that like you guys know what's going on. Like she knew from the very start that I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. So I'm gonna have to do my work. She knew from the very start. Yeah. So I feel like it's like she knew what she came in for. I hope so.
She leaves tomorrow, but
she's out.
I mean, the relationship takes 2 to work.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys have it right there. Outside, I know it's gonna happen everywhere. It's just life. But you guys have it together, have the communication. But last question I do wanna ask is, dang, did I lose my train of thought?
You got it. Spit it out. He got it.
Spit. It's pretty much. Do you think with the visas getting taken away, is it going to affect your with Danny Lux or Eslabon Armado, or are they just more chill about it because they're going through a different wave?
I don't know. I think they're born here. I think they're born. Danny's born here in Cali. Was born in Cali, and so was Pedro. So I think we're
pretty straight. Like now,
I think I'm good. But I think even that, like, I feel like if
because it doesn't affect them if they actually sing one of those. I mean, they don't really have corridos.
They don't,
like that, right?
They don't. They
not
have mostly, yeah, they have mostly love. Right? Yeah. So they're good.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't gone to so many like artists in Mexico, but I feel like if they really want to work with me, they're gonna fly me out.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like if somebody really wants me, they're gonna fly me out. They're gonna fly me out. And if I'm there and like there was one time where I like flew to Cali and just like I'm gonna stay 4 days, 5 days, and I'm gonna like work on with the artists and I just like schedule people and we just work. So it just depends like if they really want me. I think that's why I feel like that you have to separate yourself with like other engineers, producers, and see create your own craft. Like because I listened to bachata, R&B, pop, I didn't listen to I didn't really listen to like much Mexican regional when I was young, dude. So I feel like my ears and my like creativity is super different. You know what I'm saying? So like my sound is different. Even though my sound's similar to modern days, but like there's like a difference. Like if you start listening to engineers, I can give you a whole playlist like these type of engineers. You'd be like, oh, he did this. Oh, I hear like you can hear the similarities. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Why this sounds like this. This sounds like this. Because dude, it's amazing like how many producers work on these songs you don't even know, and sometimes they sound the same, and it's because it's the same producer, same engineer.
I mean, David, thank you for the story and for the back end of how it actually works and how everything puts together, because you are the backbone. And you can never forget.
Yeah.
You are the backbone, and I feel like you said, Danny knows it too as well. Like, it takes a team.
Yeah.
And that's phenomenal what you're doing, and bro, more success is coming your way.
Thank you, bro.
And all that. But since like the end of the show, who would you recommend now? Because I always start doing this to hop on the pod. Who's next, and would you want to call out just to hear a story you would want to hear? Because like I said, there's back end stories that people should be aware of what it takes.
Like anybody?
Anyone, man.
Oh fuck, dude, I'm so bad at this. Let me see. If you're able to cut, let me think about it and cut, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Cut it. So she's like, la taquera, la doña, que me hizo los tacos en la mañana.
So it's like anything?
Anyone, bro. Like that has a story that you think that should be said, should be heard. Success is everywhere, bro. It's different definition for everyone.
Dude, who do I want to hear? Whose stories do I want to hear? Dude, all I watch is Criminal Minds. I don't know.
That would be hard to reach out to them, but
dude, I'm trying to think who'd be super cool. You know, I think any if you could find any engineers that are working on the top songs right now would be cool in general. Just because I think that we're our story is so you don't really hear it because I think people get blinded from the artist spotlight.
Yeah.
But I think that person on their right hand is so important. Any producer, any engineer, anybody, I think it'd be super cool because I think every story is so dope. Because you don't know where they're coming from. So
that's crazy. That's phenomenal. David, man, thank you for hopping on, brother.
Thank you, man.
And all right, boys.